Hey guys, it's Jeannette. Hope you're all doing well. I wanted to talk about tips on how to prepare, study, and succeed in your pathophysiology course. So me and my study buddy kind of discussed things from just like personal life to actual studying habits and other things that could be helpful as you prepare to take on your patho class. So I'm just going to read down the list and then I'll insert anything else that I can think of to help you guys succeed. Alright, so first things first, your work schedule, your employer, make sure that you put in those dates, your exam dates, or any other key dates that you must have off. There's nothing worse than either working the night before, working the day of the exam, and you don't have adequate time to study. So as soon as you find out your exam dates, let's say if you're waiting for the course to start, feel free to email the instructor. Some of them understand about the whole work scheduling and they'll at least send you the exam dates. And most of the exams are actually scheduled obviously with the school, so especially if there's a computer lab, so those days are kind of fixed. So unless something really terrible happens or anything like that, you can count on those days kind of being the same. So next is obviously having your planner, highlighting when things are due, especially case studies. And like I've caught myself sometimes completing a case study like an hour before we have to submit it. I may have, either slacked off or I was working or I totally forgot, but utilize your planner. You have to look at your planner. I also use some alarms on my phone too. And yeah, make sure you have reminders, especially if you have like an online WebEx class type of thing where you have to log in and call in so you can get your attendance points. So I have alarms on my phone and it tells me, okay, class starts in 30 minutes. So I can keep that in the back of my mind and make sure that I am logged on. Okay, and then so group studying. So most, at least in the beginning of patho, you are broken up into a group of people and you are required to review case study scenarios and come up with differential diagnosis, the primary diagnosis, and obviously go from learning the pathophysiology associated to that disease, as well as why you're ruling things out, why you're ruling the other diagnosis out, what data do you need in order to diagnose that disease, and then treatment and anticipatory guidance, all of that. So as a group, you work together on completing those, and then during your online WebEx class, you present your case study. So yeah, I utilize GroupMe. It's an app where you can create a group and chat, and that's how we kind of kept in communication. So again, keep in mind that you have students that are working, like full-time too. Some of them are day shift, night shift. So the good thing about using an app like that is like they can turn off their notifications when they don't want to be distracted. So let's say, I'm a day nurse, so I'm always talking throughout the day, and then at night when they wake up, I'm just let me sleep. So I'll tune in when I wake up. So, and that also plays into making sure that you are preparing and having enough time to complete the homework and assignments in a timely manner to give you enough time to edit, finalize, and submit. And everyone obviously has a busy schedule, so yeah, keep that in mind. Alright, so recording and listening to lectures. So that was really helpful for me, especially if you're like an auditory learner. There are times where I couldn't sit in front of my laptop. So what I ended up doing, I used the app Recorder, voice recorder on the iPhone, and each of my exams have a folder. And what I would do is the first time that I am listening to my PowerPoint, so I put it on the slideshow, press play, press record on my phone, leave it right next to my laptop. And so when she's speaking, I'm creating a audio file where when I go back or I'm driving, I can just quickly hit play. So that time when I'm recording this, I try to keep obviously the house quiet. My husband knows like I'm recording, and as I'm reading the PowerPoint and listening to her, I'm also taking my notes on my iPad. And so that's like my first quick pass. And at least I have it on audio recording, and then I go back when I'm studying, listening to it through the phone and just following my notes, or maybe when I'm driving I'll just listen to it. Oh gosh, so I don't have it. The next thing I want to tell y'all is a Bluetooth headphone. Y'all have seen me wear it. It's one of those like neck black things. I highly recommend you get a good set of Bluetooth headphones, and especially for those that are parents or have younger children. What I like about the one that I wore, I'll probably insert a picture, but if you've seen me, my last vlog, I'm like always wearing it now. So I could be around the house like carrying Sarai, taking care of her. I'll have one of the earbuds in and I'm playing a lecture. I can be doing the dishes, cleaning, laundry, doing anything around the house, and I'm listening to my lectures. And that goes the same for let's say work. If it's slow, like lunchtime, I can listen to my lecture there, or driving. And what I like about it, although like, you know, like the ear pods are in, but if I'm holding my baby, I don't know about y'all's baby, she's like, oh, what's that? And then she'll pull it out of my ear. So with the one that has like the neck thing, you know, she pulls it, it just pulls off and it just still falls on my shoulder. So that's okay. I just kind of pop it back in. So it just seems to be working best. And even if I'm like in bed right before bedtime, if I'm listening to it, then I can just pop it in my ear. I don't have to bother my husband, and that has been great, because sometimes I don't have enough time just to sit there and pull up my laptop and listen to each of the slideshows. And then the cool thing about it is you can also fix the speed of when it's playing it back to you, so you can always fast forward to find that little area of the topic you need to listen to, or make her talk a little faster or whatever. So that's awesome, and I've used that a lot. Okay, ducks in a row and operations to start. So before the semester, your mind, if you don't adequately prepare, you're gonna feel like you're trying to get everything situated when you have the least amount of time. So what I mean by that was, if you're starting school, take a few days to get things in a row. So, you know, do you have your house in a certain way, order your study area in a certain way, your car, do you know, anything like that, anything that would take away time, or that you have in the back of your mind. And you know what I mean, some things you have in your back of your mind, until you get it done, you feel like bothered by it. So get all of that, try to clear your mind, so when you start school, you're just hitting your books really hard and you're focused. So I think I had a little bit of that issue, in a sense, feeling like, man, I still have so much to do to prepare, but already the semester started, so I kind of have to move past that and study and focus on school. So now that the semester's over, I will be all those things that are in my head, I wrote it in my planner, in my journal, and now it's the right time to be able to go address, let's say, cleaning out the junk drawer. And that's constantly in the back of my mind, and I can't wait until I can get to it. And it's not until now, when I have a little bit of break, that I can actually do that. So that's what I mean by getting your ducks in a row. Let's see. So identifying your unique study habits. I felt like it was so odd in the beginning of the semester. How do I learn? How do I take tests? Try and think back on your undergrad experience, what you do, and then start from there, and then make adjustments from that. I felt like I couldn't even think how I used to study at times, or take exams. Like, I couldn't remember if I got out of the habit of changing my answer, or did I not? Does that make sense? So I didn't know how to prepare and think about how I would do for that first exam, and that there's always so much anxiety on the first exam of any semester. So think now. How do you learn? How do you learn best? Try and find maybe some quizzes online that can help identify those things for you. I even did some YouTube videos on study techniques. You know, what are people doing? How are people taking notes? And kind of set out that plan and then make those adjustments. So that's how I learned that I wanted to do the iPad notes first. And then kind of go from there, like printing and then putting it in a binder. So yeah, look around, see what you want to try, and then try that. And then obviously make adjustments as you see fit. Okay. A big thing that I was told back when I had interviewed and I spoke to my advisor, who happens to be the chairperson for the acute care gerontology program, they said to start shifting and transitioning your mindset to a practitioner role. So if you're working go ahead and just like question everything. Try and figure out, what would you do next? What would you order next? What is going on with the person, the disease, the comorbidities? How is everything interacting? How are the medications interacting? Versus thinking, okay, this is my order, I need to get it done. Does that make sense? So the earlier you can transition your mind like that, the better. So I highly recommend that, and it's still a definitely work in progress. But I have seen myself, as the semester went on, kind of pay attention, a closer amount of attention on certain things. Maybe I'll look at the labs a little longer, look at the trends, trying to figure out, you know, what was so different 3 days ago and today, and you know, so it definitely motivated me and encouraged me to look harder and critically think, and even it has helped me to be more verbal on, oh, is it this, is it that, kind of questioning my knowledge, or even suggesting certain medications or orders or anything like that. So yeah, try that. It's hard, but it definitely will help. So move forward, managing your expectations, and this goes back to my poor heart. So if you are a 4.0 student, you've done well all your entire life, and then you get hit with your first exam in grad school and you are crushed. That's what I mean when manage your expectations and learn how to move past disappointments pretty quickly. Because, for instance, this pathophysiology course is 12 weeks, and I don't have like a day to grieve about a certain grade, and I have lost a few days because of that. And again, I've talked to many people, obviously trying to get their point of view. I'm like, is this how the entire program's going to be? Am I even going to make it? Is this hard, difficult? And I don't know if it's hard. It's hard because there's so much content to try and comprehend in such little time. And this is all that I did. I feel like I would definitely do better, but it's not. So I am a mom, wife, I'm a full-time employee, you know, I have work from work that I have to do, and then I have obviously school and the schoolwork I have to do, so I don't have all that time. So I have learned that a lot of people struggle with the transition. Again, it's graduate course, it's making you think differently, so it's a different way of thinking. Like, do you remember going from, let's say, high school or college for a non-nursing degree, and then you got hit with your first nursing exam? It's like that, but like extra. So yeah, whatever you can do to manage that, so you can let it go and then get re-energized to continue, try and figure that out. I know when I went to go vent with someone and I was just reaching out to them, I'm like, okay, what are you doing? What can I do? I just needed some type of encouragement. And they were just pretty much saying, you pass, count your blessings, and move on. And again, like I mentioned with grad school, you have to have an 80% exam average in order to pass the course. So it doesn't matter if I get A's on all the other assignments. If I don't have an exam average above 80, I don't pass. And that's a lot of stress for me. Like, I don't know. Yes. So they were just saying, hey, like, let's say if I got an 81, count your blessings and move on. And that really hit home to me, and I'm like, I need to just do that. So yes. And then balance me and family time. So in the beginning of the semester, it's obviously very natural and normal to just be so kind of stressed trying to figure that out. And as the semester progressed, I decided to make some more time with my family, my husband, my daughter, and my husband. So we started going to gymnastics class with Sarai, and that's made me feel better, because not only was I dealing with the stress of school, but I was dealing of like the stress and guilt from the absence of me when I am studying or I'm at school or things like that. So I hope this helps you prepare for pathophysiology and, you know, like your grad school course. I'm not sure if this is the first course for many programs out there. I know it was for me. And I will just talk briefly about the studying that you have to do. So listen to your lectures. Obviously make notes. Any patient stories, anything like that, go ahead and jot it down. Sometimes they do appear in exams. And then organize your notes. You don't want to miss a slideshow or lose a page here and there. So, you know, is it the 3-ring binder system you're going to use? Listen to your lectures. Use resources like YouTube. I use a lot of osmosis videos and Khan Academy videos. So I would literally type in, let's say, glomerulonephritis, and then it'll start talking to me and teaching me. And then that's when I'll go back and add those notes onto my PowerPoint. And then after, I'm not sure, I'll link to the video of my blueprints, but if they do provide you with blueprints, then go ahead as you study, pay closer attention to those topics that are listed on your blueprint list. And then how I do it is I end up making a packet, you know, putting all the information that's covered in the blueprint list, and that's what I end up kind of studying off of the, you know, couple of days before the exam. Again, so resource, use your textbook as a resource. Some teachers recommend you read. I don't have the time to read a textbook. You really don't. So my instructor said, I'm giving you everything from the PowerPoints. I literally opened my Patho book like maybe 2 or 3 times. So yeah, just find out what other students have done in that course with that teacher. You're literally trying to figure out what they want you to learn, their teaching style, their testing style, and then kind of trying to match that so you do well in your exams. So I hope this has helped you. If you're starting school, let me know what you're going to take, how are you feeling, and then let me know if any of these tips have helped you as you move on in the program. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe and share the videos. Bye.